Whatever Bruce Timm is huffing and puffing, I want some because it must be real good for him to make a statement like this. So, for those who don't know, Bruce Timm, of course, he's recently come back to do the Batman Cape Crusader show along with J.J. Abrams, which this show is supposed to be a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series. It's not. It's not. If you guys want a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series, don't bother. Just go watch Batman the Animated Series. Or if you want like a successor to Batman the Animated Series, go watch Batman Beyond, because that's literally a sequel to the animated series. But anyway, Bruce Timm, they've made a lot of controversial decisions about this show. You know, with race swaps and all that type of stuff that they normally do, and interjecting modern sensibilities in a show set in the freaking 40s. But one of the things they did was they gender swapped the Penguin. Penguin is not Oswald Cobblepot in Batman Cape Crusader. Penguin is Oswalda Cobblepot. Still a crime lord, still a crime boss, but they did the thing where Oswalda is like a singer as well, and men fall at her feet. They want to, be with her, but she still looks like the butch Penguin. There's no way in hell anyone in the 1940s would ever want her, let alone 1940s. 2024, no one wants her. But Bruce Timm, in an interview with Screen Rant, the bastion of journalism that is Screen Rant, totally not bought and paid for, said that he and James Tucker, was one of the producers on the show, said that one of the problems with Batman is there's a lack of good villains. You've got Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. But it would be really good to have more female villains. We could never quite figure out exactly what to do with the Penguin, what the gimmick for Penguin would be. So what if we gender flip the Penguin? How about you don't? If you can't figure out a gimmick for the Penguin, how about you just don't do the Penguin? Until you can think of something to do. Now, this is rich coming from Bruce Timm of all people, but Batman does not have a lot of female villains. We're going to go through. Bruce Timm has created quite a bunch of female characters in his past. He has created Andrea Beaumont, who is the Phantasm from Batman Mask of the Phantasm. He created Mercy Graves, who is Lex Luthor's bodyguard. She debuted in Superman the Animated Series and has since been brought into pretty much any continuity since. We have Livewire, again created for Superman the Animated Series, and she has again been brought into pretty much every continuity since. We have frickin' Renee Montoya, one of just the most well-known cops in the Batman lore. We have Volcana, who was made for Superman the Animated Series, and she took it to Superman a couple of times. We have Roxy Rocket, who was created for Batman the Animated Series as well, so there's another character there. And then, of course, we have Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, one of the most popular comic book characters alive. Bruce Timm helped create it. And there's also Red Claw from Batman the Animated Series as well, she was the leader of a terrorist organization. And she could go hand-to-hand combat with Batman and hold her own, But there's not a lot of female villains there. So we're going to go off of that, Bruce. And like I just listed, a bunch of the characters you've created that are female villains that all very much hold their own against Batman. Let's take a look at all the other female villains. We've got Arkham Knight, who is Astrid Arkham in the comics. Yes, they brought the Arkham Knight into the comics, and she was Astrid Arkham, a descendant of the Arkham family. We have, of course, Catwoman. We have Copperhead from Batman Arkham Origins, who she was then brought into the DC Comics during Rebirth. We have Jezebel Jet, Jane Doe, Lady Shiva, Magpie, the Neo Joker from the Batman White Knight comics, Poison Ivy, Punchline, Nyssa, Talia al Ghul, the second ventriloquist Peyton Riley, and of course the White Rabbit. Quite a few Batman female characters there, and I think most of them people would know about and say, yeah, they could very much hold their own for a couple episodes or an episode. And if we're playing this game of Bruce Timm's that there is no good female villains for Batman, well, Bruce, I have an idea. Why don't you do what you did in the critically acclaimed Batman the Animated Series that you oh so love to remind people that you were a part of, and just create your own characters? I know, I'm speaking something that is, blasphemous here, but what if you just made your own characters? Like Harley Quinn and Red Claw. You could just make new characters that Batman can fight. and you can make them however you want because they're yours. Did you ever think of that, Bruce? You could do that. That's a viable option. You know, you've seen how well it's worked for you in the past. Why not try it again? You could just do that instead of, gender swapping another character. But this is just another case of the modern Hollywood virus just invading another one. We've lost Bruce Timm. He's another one of the ones that has just been eaten up by the modern day Hollywood mind virus. It has infected another one. Now, again, something I should point, Bruce Timm has gender swapped a character before in Batman the Animated Series. He gender swapped Calendar Man to Calendar Woman, or Calendar Girl. So he's done this before. So this is not anything new that Bruce Timm has done, gender swapping a character. So I feel like I should just point that out. But I also wanted to point out the stupidity of this statement, and the stupidity of the fact that there is no good female Batman character. Bruce, 2 of them are in your show, in Catwoman and Harley Quinn. You helped create Harley Quinn, who you again then race swapped into being a fat Asian.